Have you ever stopped to wonder what's really flowing through your veins? I mean, it's more than just a medical label, isn't it? Your blood type is like a secret history book, a story of survival written over thousands of generations. And today, we're going to read it.
Yeah, we're going to decode that history together. We're going to dig into what your blood type says about your ancestors, your potential health risks, and maybe even some of your hidden strengths. Because this story, well, it's your story.
Just think about it like this for a second. Your blood isn't just, a biological fluid. It's a living document. It's the narrative of where we all came from. And our story, it starts with the very first chapter, the original survivors.
Okay, so picture this. Long before there were cities or farms or empires, humanity had a kind of default setting. This was the blood of our earliest hunter-gatherer ancestors. This was the foundation for all of humanity. And the scale here is just staggering. Type O isn't just common, it's our ancestral baseline. We're talking 4 out of every 10 people on the entire planet carry this ancient code. But being the original model comes with a pretty fascinating trade-off. So on one hand, Type O blood seems to offer this kind of mental armor, a lower risk of cognitive decline as we get older. It's also got lower clotting factors, which is fantastic for heart health. But, and this is a big but, that same trait makes it harder to stop bleeding in a severe trauma. And fascinatingly, that bacteria that causes most stomach ulcers, well, it finds it much, much easier to stick to the stomach lining of people with Type O blood.
But those vulnerabilities are balanced by a really crucial modern strength. Because it's the original blueprint, Type O positive is a total medical hero. In a crisis, it is the go-to blood type. It's compatible with any other positive type, which makes it the absolute workhorse of blood banks everywhere.
But of course, humanity didn't stay hunters forever. As we started shifting to farming, our entire environment changed, and so did our blood. So this next chapter, it belongs to the builders and the settlers. Type A actually emerged with the rise of agriculture and these dense settlements. It's the second most common type, found in about 3 out of every 10 people. And this wasn't just some random mutation, it was a straight-up evolutionary adaptation to a whole new way of life.
And right here, we see that evolutionary trade-off pop up again. The antigen that gave Type A stronger immune shield in crowded villages, well, it came at a price. See, that antigen is sticky, which makes the blood cells more likely to clump together. This leads to a higher risk of blood clots and heart disease. And on top of all that, people with Type A tend to have higher baseline levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. That means the pressures of modern life can literally hit them harder on a cellular level.
All right, our story now moves from those settled lands out to the open plains. The next blood type was forged by migration, by movement, and by constantly adapting to new environments. Let's meet the wanderers.
At just 10% of the population, Type B is much less common. Its story isn't one of settling down, it's one of spreading out. You see it most often in Central Asia and the Middle East, a kind of biological marker of those great nomadic migrations.
This life on the move created a highly specialized immune system, one that's excellent at fighting off certain kinds of bacteria. But that specialization has a flip side. A hyper-tuned immune system can sometimes, overreact, making Type B folks more prone to autoimmune and inflammatory conditions. And their nomadic metabolism, which was built for things like protein and dairy, can really be challenged by our modern processed diets. So finally, our story reaches the newest, the rarest, and honestly the most complex character of all. Type AB isn't ancient. It's a relatively recent biological mix, emerging from the intermingling of Type A and Type B people. A true modern paradox.
What makes it so unique is that it carries both the A and the B antigens, and this gives it a kind of medical superpower. An individual with AB positive blood is known as the universal recipient because they can safely receive red blood cells from any other blood type in an emergency.
But being so receptive comes with a quiet but pretty heavy price. Their uniquely tolerant immune system can sometimes be a little too lenient, leaving them more susceptible to certain infections. And some studies even suggest that this blood type might face higher cognitive risks later in life. Okay, now for the twist. We've been talking about A, B, and O, but there's another factor that changes everything, the Rh factor. Being negative adds a whole new layer of rarity, risk, and incredible life-saving potential. This is the ultimate lifesaver. O-negative blood has no A, no B, and no Rh factor. It's basically biologically invisible. In a catastrophic emergency, when there is zero time to type a patient's blood, O-negative is the only choice. It's the universal donor. But here's the crazy catch. People with O-negative blood can only receive O-negative blood, which actually makes them the most vulnerable if they ever need a transfusion.
And the numbers for the other negative types are even more striking. A negative is found in less than 2% of people, B negative around 1%, and AB negative is the rarest of them all. So you can probably imagine why keeping these types in stock is a constant, critical challenge for blood banks.
So let's just put it all together for a second. We've got type O, the ancient survivor, type A, the communal builder, type B, the specialized wanderer, and type AB, the modern paradox. Each one tells a completely unique part of humanity's incredible journey.
And really, that's the ultimate takeaway here. No matter what your type is, you are the direct result of an unbelievable story of adaptation and resilience. You are a living link in an unbroken chain of human survival.
So this whole explainer really just brings us to one final personal question. Thinking about all of it, the survivors, the builders, the wanderers, and the paradoxes, which one of those stories is flowing through your veins? I would really love to know. Drop a comment below with your blood type and tell me what fact in this whole breakdown surprised you the most. And hey, if you love decoding the hidden biology that makes us who we are, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss our next explainer. Thanks for watching.